This is Daniel from Divine Orbit, and I'm here to talk to you today about Jupiter moving into Sagittarius on November 8th, 2018. I am super excited about this transit because I am a Sagittarius rising, and therefore Jupiter rules my whole chart, which means it's one of the most important planets for me, and it's traditionally associated with luck and opportunity. And so there's just a lot of greatness that comes with those things that I'm super excited to experience on that individual level. And I'm excited to talk to y'all about it today as well. Traditionally, Jupiter is a planet about expansion, growth, opportunity, and preparedness, meaning luck. So that combination of you've been working hard at something, and then the right opportunity presents itself, and you're able to take advantage of it because you're prepared. Those are some of the significations that Jupiter has. It is the largest planet in our solar system, so the only thing larger than it is the Sun. And so it's one of the best planets to be in your chart. I would suppose some of the downsides could include overexpansion, so if you bite off more than you can chew, or take on too much growth at one time, that can be not good. So that's where Jupiter can tend to get a little overboard. And it's hard to slow down something that's really big and massive and moving on a trajectory. Jupiter rules the signs of Pisces and Sagittarius. So actually Jupiter being in Sagittarius is double Jupiter power, and that's going to really set us on a new cycle for Jupiter's purposes. So yeah, Jupiter goes around the zodiac one sign per year, and so it takes about 12 years to come back to where it started. And that means that a lot of the things that happened over the last 12 years are going to see kind of a level up for you, especially in those Sagittarius themes. Personally, for me, 12 years ago, I started a career with this organization that I still work for today, Breakthrough Twin Cities, and that has been a constant over the past 12 years, and really been a tremendous opportunity for me. So Jupiter has been through Scorpio in the past year, and that has been associated with a lot of uncovering of truths. Jupiter is a planet that is very true to itself. And Scorpio is also a sign of secrets, so secrets expanding and coming out into the light. And now that it's moving through Sagittarius, it'll take another year, and then it'll move into Capricorn. Jupiter also goes through about 4 months of direct motion in a sign, and then will both be retrograde for 4 months, and then we'll go back direct for the last 4 months of that year to go forward and progress through the rest of the sign. So when we talk about Jupiter in Sagittarius, again, that's a double Jupiter power. So there's a lot that is kind of overlapping and coalescing. Sagittarius really is all about a quest, and the 3 parts are: first, find the right vessel, make sure you've got the right thing to get you from point A to point B. You'll notice that the sign of Sagittarius is an arrow, and so it's very direct, speedy, and doesn't change direction. It knows which direction it's going in, and it's getting there or bust. The second part of Sagittarius quest being strapping yourself to that vessel that you found, going directly on your route, and hoping you have enough fuel to get you the way there. Again, if your quest is more than you can chew, you've bitten off too much, then maybe you won't end your quest well. But there's a saying about the journey being worth it or something like that, and that can be true, but it's very disappointing for Sagittarius if they don't reach their destination. As I was doing some research about the past times that Jupiter's been in Sagittarius, there's been a lot of interesting things related to global connectivity, and specifically the rise of GPS, the rise of the internet, and also the iPhone was introduced 12 years ago. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and so we see some literal manifestations of that. We've had some increased attention to global warming within the last 12 years, beginning around that time period. year that Jupiter was in Sagittarius 36 years ago, Time Magazine's Man of the Year was actually a computer. And so that really showed you that humanity, we are strapping ourselves to that computer. We think it's the vessel that's going to get us to the next point B that we're looking at. And hopefully that has the fuel to get us to where we want to go as a society. Other themes that I found as I was kind of exploring were things like that fire sign getting very fast movement, so explosions, and sometimes that was like fireworks, and sometimes it was not so great explosions. But then the other thing that I found was vehicles that literally are kind of that arrow shape, so rockets or trains being important, or breaking speed barriers, and sometimes unfortunately the two go together, so train accidents, rocket accidents. Again, it's that idea of hopefully you have enough fuel, or hopefully you're not biting off too much speed, and something's going awry. On an individual level, you'll see Scorpio's themes wrapping up for you, and you'll start to see Jupiter in Sagittarius themes really coming alive. And in my experience, actually, during that last 4 months as Jupiter's going through, and maybe even like the last month or month and a half, you really start to see some of those Sagittarius themes starting. It's like the foundation before Jupiter actually reaches that sign. And so depending on your rising sign, you can look at this chart and it will show you what those theme areas are. And if you want to know your rising sign, there's a link in the video description below that you can click on to calculate that. So for me as a rising Sagittarius, Scorpio is about new spiritual growth, finding spiritual teachers, and releasing myself from past things. And I experienced all of those this past year. Really getting more into astrology, finding people to learn from in that area, and having it be something that makes me feel free from kind of conventions or the norms, and is something that I've really felt has given me a lot of internal strength. And for my Sagittarius year, it's going to be about self-discovery, gaining experience, and expanding my reach. And as I think about starting this YouTube channel and really starting to get more into astrology and trying to build an audience and reaching people, that's definitely the trajectory that I'm headed on, and I'm excited to share that with y'all as we go forward. So if we map out the dates for Jupiter and Sagittarius, we kind of fit into 3 different segments like I talked about. So the first 4 months is about finding the right vessel. We have some challenging squares to Mars and Neptune during this time. Those might be some attempts to find the right vessel but not succeeding. And then it ends with a supportive trine to Mars. So I really think Mars is going to be involved with Jupiter in Sagittarius in terms of finding that right vessel. Mars will be in Aries at that time, which is a sign that it loves and really works well in, and so I think there could be a good connection, but we'll have to wait till the end of January to see what that brings. Also, mid-January, Jupiter enters the shadow, which is the period on the zodiac where it will be in retrograde. So we start to see that ground covered for the first time, that it will retrograde and go backwards in. So then Jupiter turns retrograde on April 10th, and that's when you're really strapping in. You're revisiting that ground only to make sure that it is sturdy, and you're getting in there and you are headed in that direction. We see an opposition to Mars in May, so again, that Mars theme being really important. We get the second square to Neptune, so another challenging aspect, and it's very symmetrical. We get one of those during each of these different periods as Jupiter moves retrograde and goes backwards and forwards and across the sign. And then again, we get a supportive trine from Mars in Leo this time to wrap us out with that retrograde period. Neptune's all about dreaming and having ideals, and so sometimes your ideals can be challenged by the particular quest that you're on, and I think that's the tension that we're going to see as we think about Sagittarius. But the other thing is that Neptune is in Pisces, which is another sign that Jupiter rules. Pisces is the more social side of Jupiter, the community-oriented, the benefit for the good of the whole, whereas Sagittarius is much more individual. It's all about what my quest is, what my goals are, and so that tension between doing things for yourself versus doing things for the community might also be a theme that we see come up with that square. And then as we go direct, Jupiter goes direct in August 2019. That's when we really see the bottom line. Did we have enough fuel to get us through this last 4 months? We get a challenging square from Mars and that third and final square to Neptune. By November 5th, Jupiter exits that shadow or that retrograde period, and that's about the time when you might start to see those Sagittarius themes kind of settling down and getting ready for the next sign that Jupiter will be in, which is Capricorn. On November 12th, we see a supportive sextile for Mars, one last opportunity for that positive Mars connection with Jupiter in Sagittarius. And then on December 2nd, we see the ingress into the next sign of Capricorn. I'd love to hear what your quest is for 2019. So if you want to put that in the comments below, that'd be awesome. And that way we can share in this Jupiter in Sagittarius journey. Check out Divine Orbit's website at divine-orbit.com, where you'll find information about how to get a one-on-one consultation with me. You'll find daily horoscopes, and you can sign up for my mailing list, in which I'll send you updates about your astrological year. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram, where you can have access to all of those things as well. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you get all of these updates about the videos I make about astrology. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next cycle.